I say this wholeheartedly. Fashion saved my life. Alright, what's going on, man? It's your boy Kreativekloth, and I'm back with another video, man. Look, if I'm not starting short, I'm not going nowhere. Alright, so if you clicked on this video, you're probably like, what is he talking about? How did fashion save his life? And for me to really get the full scope of what I'm trying to say, I kind of have to like break it up into like two parts and also go back in my life a little bit to fully explain what I mean. But I say this wholeheartedly. Fashion saved my life. So just to give a little bit more context on what I mean, I'm gonna break it up into personal and also career-wise, just so I could kind of bring those two elements together without trying to have it all be condensed into one segment. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk about personal first, because I feel like this one may be a little bit more relatable to more people than career-wise. But growing up, I wasn't the most confident person ever. And you look at me now, it's like, okay, like he has a bunch of confidence. He must have had it for a very long time. Like, that is not the case. Like growing up, I was insecure about a lot, whether it be the shoes I wore, the clothes I wore, physical appearance, you know, how I looked at myself in the mirror. Like my insecurities were very high when I was younger, just because I feel like in a weird way, I feel like everyone else looked better. And if you're like me, who grew up in an urban area, like your clothes, your sneakers, they matter. Like when I was in middle school, elementary school, like if you had some lame shoes on, you was getting dogged, bro. You was getting roasted. Like you was in the hot seat 24/7 when it came to like, you know, you was sitting at the lunch table, like your homeboys are on you 24/7, because it's like, why are you wearing those? So like when I was growing up, I was always insecure about that because I grew up very frugal, like one parent household, two boys, mom working a job where, you know, she kept clothes on our back, but they weren't always the best clothes. So like when all my homeboys was wearing Jordans, you know, getting the latest phone posits, like I was left to like the New Balances and the Vans and all that. Even though that stuff is in now, back then when I was in middle school, like those shoes were not in. Like if you had those, you was getting clowned, or like you were considered like, you know, a skater back then, and like all these multitude of things. So as I just like went through life in elementary school, middle school, high school, I always kind of had that insecurity of like, damn, like I want better clothes. I want to look better. Like all my homeboys always had like the latest J's, you know, the latest, like the latest sneakers up in the know. So I would always be like, damn, like my stuff is nowhere near compared to what they are wearing. And not even just solely focusing on sneakers, but like also just clothes as well. Like back to school shopping, man, we about to go to Ross, Didi's discount, thrifting. Like not saying those things are bad, but like, you know, when you see people around you, especially your peers, are, you know, wearing like, you know, Jumpman, or they're wearing like the latest designers, you like, damn, I kind of want that too. Why can't I get that as well? So a lot of like my younger days were spent like on websites like Karma Loop. I used to watch 23 is Back. Like if y'all know what 23 is Back, like you're a real sneakerhead, just to stay up to date on what sneakers are dropping that I'll never be able to get. I used to shop on these websites and fill up my cart with a bunch of stuff that I would never be able to get, but I always fantasize about getting that stuff. And it wasn't really until college, more so the end of college, when I started to dress how I want to feel. I graduated in 2019, like in December. So 2019, leading into the pandemic of 2020, is when I start really investing into like, I'm going to buy clothes that make me feel good. Not what people want me to wear, not what's like trending. Like I'm just gonna buy what I wanna wear. And as like 2020, 2021 started to roll around, I just saw my overall like outlook on myself change. Like my confidence in like 2021, 2022, 2023, like my confidence has never been this high ever. And that really contributed to how I started to dress. Like I am a firm believer in that if you look good, you go feel good. And I take that to heart. Like the days where I know I got a fit on, like, oh, I'm walking a little different. My confidence is through the roof those days when I wear things that I know make me look good and I know I feel good wearing it. So on a personal note, when it comes to fashion, it absolutely changed my overall outlook on myself. And I think that's a big thing. Like if you don't feel confident in yourself, when you walk in a room, people go feel that. When you go to jobs, people are gonna feel that. You're not gonna speak as loudly, you're not gonna feel as confident. But once I started to change my appearance and change the clothes that I was wearing to actually fit and model how I wanted to, like, oh, like, you couldn't tell me nothing. So yeah, fashion saved my life, but not to the extent of like, oh, fashion jumped in front of a gun for me. But it was more so like, fashion literally changed my outlook on myself. It also changed my, I walked upright a little bit more. Like my head was held high a little bit more. So like literally, fashion did indeed change my life. Now let's take it over to career-wise. Now I did the typical what people who care about you want you to do. They tell you go to college, get a degree, get a good job, and your life is gonna be good. But honestly, I feel like college wasn't necessarily for me. I found myself in college a lot of the times just going through the motions, just doing work, just ready to party with my friends and like all that. Like I feel like I got more out of the clubs and all the things that I joined in college more than I did sitting in a classroom. So when I graduated, remind you, I graduated in 2019 December. So when I graduated, I was like, okay, about to go into the workforce, I'm about to find a company to work for, and that's gonna be my life here on out. But we all know how 2020 went. So 3 months after me graduating, I got fired from my job, and they're like, we don't know what's gonna happen. We're gonna bring you guys all back on in like a few weeks after everything kind of dies down. And we know that didn't happen. So I was at home, no job, can't hang out with friends or family, can't go outside. So I was literally left to be in my mind 24/7. And I had this mental battle of like, what do I wanna do for work? What do I actually care about? What I want to, like, just all these things are jumbling in my mind. Like, I'm like, okay, like, I have all this time that I used to ask for. So really focus on what do I want to do? So let me figure out. And another point that I want to add, like a lot of the friends I made in college, like they got jobs, good jobs, right after college. So I was dealing also with this insecurity of like, I'm left behind right now. Like, all my homies are doing X, Y, and Z. They're in their careers, they're making like their adult money now. Like, and I'm just like, damn, like, I'm stuck. Like, I don't know what to do. So amongst all that time that I was spending at home, trying to figure out what do I want to do? What do I actually care about? What do I actually can see myself doing? I just turned to social media. Because at the time, that was just like what was happening. Like, you couldn't hang out with your friends or interact with people in person. So virtually, that was the next best thing. So I just started posting my outfits. I just started to like, and I did it with not the intent of like saying like, I want to be an influencer, I want to be a content creator or anything like that. But I just started posting my outfits just because it gave me something to look forward to for the day. Like I knew, if I knew I had to be in the house all day, at least in that moment of me going outside to take pictures was something productive in that day. So as time went on with that whole taking pictures, I got paid for the first time. Just to post content that I was already going to post. Like, I was like, nah, hold on. This actually might be something. So I just started posting more, started gaining more traction, and it's literally all built on clothes, sneakers. Like that is literally the entirety of what it is that I do. I talk about sneakers, I talk about clothes. Like, so when I say fashion changed my life, both personal and career-wise, like it ultimately really did. I'm not playing. Because if you would have asked me 4 years ago what career I wanted to go down or what path that I want to go down to, like I couldn't give you an answer. Like I was very jumbled. But now I'm very secure in the thought of like, doing the content creation, creating my own clothing brand, just building that network of people, because not only have I built my own, personal brand, like I've been able to connect and meet so many dope ass people through this avenue of like fashion. So I really just want to bring it all back together, because when you click on the title, it's like, oh, fashion saved my life. It seems kind of dramatic, but like literally on a personal note, as far as like appearance, how I feel about myself, comfortability, the way that I'm able to carry myself now, like absolutely. And also having a clear set mind on what I want to do career-wise, and those are very important aspects of your life. And I've literally been able to do that just through fashion, clothing, and all that. So like I wholeheartedly believe that fashion has changed my life for the better. So if there's one thing I just want to leave you with or take away from this video is like, no matter what it is you want to do, whether it be like engineering, fashion, or you want to get into tech, like no matter what it is, like just live in it, like go 100% in it. Like if it's a passion of yours, even if you're not seeing the results that you want to see right now, just all gas, bro, just all gas. Like it should make you want to get up in the morning. Like when you wake up, you shouldn't feel like, damn, nah, I gotta do this, or like, I don't really feel like doing this. Like, of course, there's gonna be days like that in any career, but you should wanna wake up and be like, damn, this is what I do for a living. Like, this is crazy. And I'll also just give you an example just from my, social media journey and just like fashion journey. Like I record videos, and sometimes I have a lot of footage to edit, sometimes I don't. It just depends on the type of video that I'm making. I spend hours, editing these videos and just chopping and screwing all that upon also going to work. And I put these things out into the universe, and then it may flop, which 100 or 200 views, depending on what page you're on, that is a flop. But I don't look at it and be like, damn, you know what? I put so much time and effort into that and it's not getting the results I want to see, so I'm done. When I see that, I'm like, all right, bet. I'm getting back into it, and I'm gonna post another video. Like if it's on Instagram and it get like this, I'm not really affected by the numbers like I used to anymore, just because I feel like numbers are all they're all over the place. So I really try to focus on if it's making me happy, I'm gonna do it. So YouTube is making me happy, so I keep doing it. Instagram is making me happy, so I keep posting. If you focus on trying to compare it to other people's journeys, you go get lost in that process. So just stay true to your process, stay true to who you are, and everything will fall in place when it should, bro. And I don't say that to say happy-go-lucky, because there's times where I'm just I'm upset because I wanted that video to do better. But then I also don't use that to stop and not post, or I don't use that to be like, you know what? See, this is exactly why I don't want to continue to go into it. So you just have to, your outlook on it definitely matters. So yeah, to sum it all up, fashion absolutely saved my life, because without it, I would not have this confidence. Without it, I would not have a clear path of what I want to do in my life, which that is so important. So yeah, I really don't have any closing up statements for this. I just really want to make this video just because y'all can learn a little bit more about me. I talk about sneakers, I talk about clothes, but this page is also mine, and I also want you to have a greater insight to who I am as a person and who it is that you're following or subscribing to. But yeah, man, like I always do, I'll catch you on the next one.
But I love the way you work it. Hey, I love the way you work it for